Hi, and welcome to the September Facebook chat. I'm Todd Jaden, your host. It might look a bit different from a background standpoint because I am actually at the Gary Operating Center shooting on site from the driver's lounge. So typically I'm in Green Bay at the Corporate Business Center shooting from one of our conference rooms there. So since I'm in the driver area, I'm wearing a safety vest. So my particular outfit might look a little different tonight than it does in other months. So I've got some folks here live, so they're kind of getting to see what we do behind the scenes in regards to a Facebook chat. So if any of the folks in the room can't hear me and want to hear what's going on, you can move up a little closer to grab a seat. One of the things that I might do is ask for some volunteers from the audience here to come and sit with me. I see some people leaving the room as I make that request, just so folks in the field can see some of our drivers, get to know them a little bit as we're celebrating driver appreciation. So I'm here with some other folks from Green Bay, recognizing our drivers. I know we have over 40 leaders from Green Bay kind of spread throughout the field. We're celebrating driver appreciation at 71 different locations across our network, and it's really about recognizing our drivers, providing some free meals, having the opportunity to come here, say thank you for the contribution that our driver associates make day in and day out over the course of the year. Try to take a week out of the year to do some more formal recognition, share a meal, share stories. Got to spend time with literally hundreds of drivers the past couple of days here in Gary, just talking about this year and previous years, and certainly things that take place. So let me start with a thank you to all of our drivers that are tuning in. Because I can't see you in person unless you come through Gary, know that I certainly appreciate everything that you do, as does the rest of the Schneider crew here in Gary with me. So from Green Bay, so the folks in Gary will get to see these people. Tammy Grunert is with me. She kind of runs the board behind the scenes. Our producer, Nicole Garcia, is here with us tonight. So she's running the technology. Megan Cousineau, who works in our marketing area, and so when you read Compass, that material comes from Megan. She's with us. And then in the way back is Rick Somerville. Rick is with our bulk organization, and so he's here recognizing drivers from kind of across the network, any of our lines of business, but in particular doing some work with the bulk folks. So thanks for being here, and we'll go ahead and get started. So before we get into questions, Dave, you're going to come up here, because you and I spent some time earlier today, and I think Dave is okay with the camera. So sit down right here. Yep, we're going to interview Dave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. So you got a microphone.
Okay, testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, say hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah. So all right. Yeah. Let's let the audience know. You're Dave, last name?
David Schweitzer.
David Schweitzer, and Dave is a jet set driver for us, working at the Walmart Sterling account.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Right? And how long have you been with Schneider?
Oh, I started back in 2015 with the tanker division.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And this is my third time back.
Well,
all right.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back, and welcome back 3 times,
yes,
right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. So let's just talk about that a little bit. What caused you to come back?
Wow.
What did you miss about us?
Well, let's see. What brought me back the third time was a great guy by the name of Scott Kingsley. He was my DBL over at the Chicago Intermodal Department.
Okay.
I just left another company down in Atlanta, and won't get into all that, but Scott gave me a call and said, "Hey, David, I've been promoted from the Intermodal Department in Chicago over the Sterling, Illinois Walmart account."
Okay.
I said, "I need a good driver. I got a bonus for you if you come on board now." I said, "Talk to me." All right, so he was told me he's going to fly me up. I said, I don't want to fly right now. TSA's going crazy.
Okay.
So I'll drive up. So that's what I did. Drove up here to Gary. They gave me, they gave me a brand new International. All right. And this was back in late June when it was hot.
Right.
The new Internationals, they have a little battery-operated air conditioning system in there. I said, I'm here, man.
Yeah.
All right, I will not sweat to death in this truck.
All right.
So Scott lined that up for me. Okay. Yep. And so primarily with Scott Kingsley that brought me back.
Okay, and you know, I think the point is there that relationships matter, right?
Yeah.
And so you had a relationship with Scott through the intermodal offering, and when he had an opportunity for a driver to come aboard, he said, hey, are you interested? And because of that relationship, you're back.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's it.
So an important part of what we want to establish with our drivers is to have good relationships. And so I'm glad to hear that that worked out well. Welcome back. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
I also, in talking with David earlier today, understand that you had a career in the Army.
That's right. Yes,
so thank you for your service.
You're welcome, sir.
That is certainly much appreciated. We appreciate you being willing to come on camera, say hi, introduce yourself, and this is one of our drivers. So if you get into the Illinois area and you bump into him, they know who you are.
That's right. And you drivers out there, you need to stop in at the Gary terminal. They got the best hamburgers in the world here. All right. As you get out of your truck, you can smell them cooking from the parking lot out there. All right. Come get you one.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, David. You betcha. All right. We got to take that mic.
Okay.
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 All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Hey, Captain Clear. Get up here. You're next. Yeah. All right, we got to mic you up.
Go ahead.
Come on, sit down. All right, so this is Captain Clear. He's one of our instructors from the Chicago Intermodal Group over at Costner Avenue.
Yes, indeed.
Where I'll be tomorrow morning.
Yes, indeed.
Recognizing drivers over there. So kind of introduce yourself. You got a real name besides Captain Clear,
I
so we want to know your real name.
I'm Lequan Carson from Chicago, Gary, and Chicago Intermodal. I do have a slogan. When an intersection is near, no need to fear, because Captain Clear is here.
All right, there you go. Hey, look at that. Yeah.
I just made that up.
Yeah, well, hey, we like that. You know, it's live TV, so we don't have an opportunity to censor you, so keep it clean.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, keep it clear. Keep it clear, exactly.
I like that.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your get-up here. You got a bow tie on, you got a cape on. What brings that out?
Well, you always got to stay on top of your swag. Swag is important.
Yeah.
So, everybody got to have swag, even Schneider. So this is my Schneider swag. I think I'm gonna adopt this. We actually should throw this into the repertoire.
Okay.
I feel like all the instructors should do this.
Yeah, I think you look great.
Yeah, y'all can thank me later.
Okay. And I see you have your 30-year intermodal hat on.
Yes, indeed.
You know, intermodal is near and dear to my heart because 30 years ago I helped start that.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, when you've been here for 37 years, like I have, you have an opportunity to do those things. Nice. And so 30 years ago, our intermodal business started with 5 loads between Chicago and Los Angeles.
Just 5 loads?
Yep, just 5 loads. Woo. And so, now it's a little bit bigger than that.
It's a lot of bit bigger than that.
It's been a great history, and what's part of that history is folks like you have helped build what we have today. So we really appreciate what you've done because you're an instructor there,
yes.
But you started here, right?
Yes.
As part of the Gary Operating Center, and so you've been with us how many years total?
All right, so 4 years and 5 months, exactly.
Okay. And what have you done in those 4 years and 5 months?
So I started as a over-the-road driver, then I did a dedicated account, then I went to the regional side of things, and then I became a road instructor here at Gary. I did that for about 1.5 years, and then I went intermodal, but I didn't go on the TE or the road instructor. I actually went in there and learned the job. I got my hands dirty. So I did that for about like 8 months, and then I became a TE over at Chicago. I did that for a little while, then I became a road instructor over in Chicago.
Okay.
And now I'm in a classroom instructor position.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for all of that.
Man,
it is certainly much appreciated.
Most definitely, man. I just want to say to everybody out there, Schneider is one of the best companies I work for.
It is the best.
Well,
All right.
It is the best. It is the best.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I'm one of 300 people that work for Schneider that have over 30 years of experience.
Nice.
And I think when you can say that, it really means it's a pretty incredible organization.
It is.
If you have people with that kind of tenure, and we drop that down to folks with 20 plus years, and we have over 1,000 people with 20 plus years of experience here at Schneider. So many of those being our drivers. So thank you for everything you do. Thanks for coming on camera. We appreciate that.
I appreciate it,
and
man. Thank you.
You know, you look awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Over and out.
Yeah, you better have that on in the morning when I see you.
Yeah, he's going to be on.
Take care.
Thank y'all.
All right. Okay, so let's take some questions. We've got others in the room. We'll bring them up kind of intermittently. And just so you know, because this is a little different setting, my eyesight's really good as it relates to far stuff away, but when I have to read off a laptop, I got to put my cheaters on. So, all right. So our first guest question comes from Denise Smith. Denise is one of our regulars, as folks know. She's down in Indy. So she says, hi there from Indy. I have a question. Because of COVID, is our insurance going to skyrocket? And will it affect the people who have gotten the shot or only affect the people who have not? So Denise is asking about, you know, what vaccination status means relative to insurance premiums. So first of all, so folks understand, our open enrollment will start November the 1st. Next month, Teresa Dax, who leads our benefits area, will be my guest on the Facebook chat, and we will talk benefits in detail. So kind of stay tuned. We're still finalizing everything in regards to what the benefits plan for 2022 will look like. But let me talk a little bit about vaccinations, because I know folks saw what the potential mandate might look like. And it's important to understand this, that you know, the president made a statement in a press conference that he was going to have his Department of Labor and OSHA put together a mandate for companies with over 100 employees. Obviously, Schneider falls into that. That is not yet a requirement. That will take some time to play out. And so the position we've taken is that, you know, we encourage people to get vaccinated, but we do not require that. And that will continue to be our stance until we get more direction. You know, it is likely going to take some time for something like that to play out. But we will certainly keep you posted as to what we know and when we know it. I know last week on the heels of that presidential press conference, we put a fleet message out to let people know what we knew, and we will continue to do that going forward. So just be aware that that's where things are at in that regard, and more to come on benefits next month when Teresa Dax is my guest. So stay tuned on that. Great question, Denise. Next question, do you plan on doing more Facebook chats out in the field? Well, it depends on how this goes. So, you know, if we're able to kind of successfully pull this off from a technology standpoint, and people are able to hear, because there tends to be a little more background noise here than there is in more of a sterile environment, we're just going to see. We'll get feedback from you. If you like this and you think it's a great idea, we'll do more of it. And that way we can get more of our drivers involved and bring them up here and introduce you to some of the folks. So to date, our guests have all come to Green Bay. So I kind of find this a little refreshing and kind of exciting and something different. First time we've tried it. So give us your feedback. Let us know. And if you like what we're doing, yeah, we'll do more in the field. Okay? All right. next question. Are there any plans to upgrade any operating centers yet this year or next? So the biggest renovation that we have on the docket right now is for the Atlanta Operating Center. We've run into some issues with permitting in the state of Georgia that has delayed that a bit. So we would have liked to have been further along, but as you might imagine, sometimes you run into snags with the local authorities in regards to some permits and those kinds of things. So once we get through all of that, we will be upgrading that facility. That will be what I'll call a major renovation. On an annual basis, we look at all of the facilities to determine, which ones need a bit of freshening up. So as I sit here in Gary, we did a reno in Gary very recently. So the driver's lounge is now redone from what it had looked like previously. So we do that regularly. We will look at them. We will continue to look at them and determine what makes the most sense. And as we make those decisions, we will communicate that to the driver group so you're aware of what that schedule looks like. Okay. This is from one of our intermodal drivers, Chris Biza. And Chris says, I'm not going to make it to an OC or a hub before this weekend's. Can someone please send me a hat and a cup? All right, just because you've asked, Chris, we'll make certain we take care of you. So Tammy, I know Vicky's watching from Green Bay. Let's get a little care package together for Chris since he was kind enough to ask. So thanks for checking in on the chat, Chris, knowing that you can't make it to a facility. The next question is around Louisiana. And obviously folks know that Hurricane Ida came through there recently, and we're still kind of working through some issues there. And the question is, when will the reserve facility be fully operational? Well, it's not fully operational yet, but we've started to do some work down there. There are trucks kind of coming in and out. I'm going to look at Rick because he's in the back of the room because I haven't been able to make we have a meeting on a daily basis. I've been here for a couple of days, so I haven't been able to make the meeting. How close? We've got power. So power is back, and how close to being fully operational do you think? Another week or so from a fully operational standpoint. So hang in there. Our hearts go out to the folks in the Louisiana area that have been impacted by Ida. We've had a number of our associates that were personally impacted as well. Through our Schneider Foundation, we help those folks out to the extent we can. So just know that we're all thinking of you and praying for you as you recover from, yet another hurricane. Amazingly, it hit on the anniversary of Katrina. So today, I think it was Tropical Storm Nicholas, either today or yesterday, that made landfall. That was closer to the Freeport, kind of Houston area, and so. We're in the midst of that season. They say there's going to be 20-plus named storms this year, so we really have to be prepared for that and make certain that we're making decisions kind of on the front end to keep our folks safe and out of harm's way. And then after the human component is taken care of, obviously there's a freight and facility and equipment and all of those things we want to make certain are in good shape as well. So thanks for that question. Next question. What are we doing to get more trailers and chassis into the market so we aren't always short of equipment? So obviously that's an intermodal and a network question. We're well aware of the situation with equipment. We're in the busiest part of the year. This has been a very busy year from a freight volume standpoint. I think, the folks that work here would tell you that it has remained pretty consistent throughout the year. However, there is always a kind of a step up, if you will, in as you get closer to the fourth quarter and we bring in the holiday season, etc. So our job is to keep turning that equipment as best we can. So one of the issues we're fighting from an equipment just new purchase is the backlog of the orders that we've made. So if some of you have read on Compass, you may have seen that we are looking at non-traditional methods to get containers delivered to the intermodal area through cargo ships that we typically wouldn't use. So we're looking for unique ways to bring new purchased equipment in. As it relates to existing equipment, the best thing we can do is turn it, right? So it's how do you get freight on and off those trailers as quickly as possible. So we're working with our customers in regards to how to best accomplish that. If they've got dropped trailers, the idea of getting some of those trailers in the yard turned again so we can make them available to our drivers. And it's how you free up capacity and create more solutions for customers, so there's a benefit for them to do it as well. So those are all the things you'll hear us talking about. My advice to drivers, to the extent possible and that hours of service allow for it, is get to your destination early, get empty, have hours to run, and let us know you're ready for the next load. Okay? This is Louisiana. Well, I think this might be the port of Los Angeles, right, versus the port in Louisiana. So it says, what is the status at the port in LA? So I think what you're really talking about is the port in Long Beach. That's where the port is in Southern California. And so folks understand there are hundreds of cargo ships, waiting out in the ocean to be brought into the port and offloaded. And it's a backlog of activity. Much of it is back orders. We can kind of talk about the impact of the pandemic on some of the international shipment lanes and the delays it has created. So it's kind of one day at a time, one cargo ship at a time, one container coming off of that cargo ship at a time. But we're talking about cargo ships that have, thousands of containers on them. So I don't expect that backlog to be relieved anytime soon. So what shippers are doing is looking at other ports. So can they go to the port of Oakland? Can they go to the port of Seattle? Can they go through the Panama Canal and go to the port of Savannah? Or one of the ports, up in the Northeast. So those are all things that are looked at, but clearly Long Beach has the biggest backlog in it. All right, are there any actions in place to help promote a better driver experience at customers that make drivers sit? So I will tell you, clearly we are in a situation now as an industry where there are more driver jobs available than there are drivers to fill them. And so with that as a backdrop, it is an absolute requirement for customers to help turn equipment to help meet their needs. And so the idea of idle time at customers is really something that we're talking to our customers about regularly, which is, hey, if we can shorten up the amount of time to load a driver, if we can shorten up the amount of time to offload a driver, if we can expedite the paperwork process, I think those are all examples of things we can do to reduce that idle time for our drivers at shippers or consignees, and that's an important aspect of what we do. So certainly those conversations are taking place daily. We've got our sales organization engaged, our customer service organization, anyone who really works with the customer, those conversations are taking place. What I would ask the driver community is, if that's the experience you're having, we want the feedback, right? Use the rate my location in workflow. So by utilizing that and sharing that feedback, it comes back to us. Our sales organization then gets visibility to it, and it allows us to provide that feedback to customers as well. All right. So we're going to do our first round of shout-outs here. So we'll start with Robert Larrabee says hello from Newburgh, New York. So Bob, thanks for being with us. Bob's one of our regulars. Richard Koshin says hello. He's on his 10-hour break in Tonkawa, Oklahoma. Last week, Wednesday, September 8th, Richard celebrated his 30th anniversary with the company. So he's one of those 300 plus folks I talked about with 30 years or more. So welcome to the 30 plus year club, Richard. We appreciate it. Yeah, okay, so it just started. Okay, you're coming up next. You'll introduce yourself next after I get through these shout outs, all right? Michael Ritz, who's based out of the Gary Operating Center, is got a shout out. He says, I'm going to be on the road during the chat, so greetings from either Ohio or Indiana. He didn't know exactly where he would be, but he left this a bit earlier today. From JJ Artsy, who was actually in Green Bay last month during our Facebook chat. She sat in the back of the room there. A shout out from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, says hope all is well with the team. Thanks again for everything last month when she visited. Well, you're welcome. Thanks for being with us. Steve Minock says hello from Selma, Alabama. Cindy Abbey is in Michigan. Hi from Michigan. Hi, Cindy. V. Sna says hi from Tilbury, Ontario, so he's up in Canada. Lynn LaValle, who's one of our Canadian drivers, is tuning in from the Flying J in Perrysburg, Ohio. And Walter and Don Cottrell, Dawn, husband and wife, one of our teams, say hello. They're in Texas right now getting loaded and then heading to West Memphis. So thanks for being with us, folks. We appreciate you, as always, checking in. So with that, before we move to the next question, come on up.
All right.
You know, I'm glad to know you're a new driver. I wasn't going to invite you up because of your shirt. You know, we've got a Chicago Bears shirt.
We're about 20 miles southeast of Chicago.
Yeah.
What do you expect? Hey, man, what do you expect?
Yeah, well, I expect you to wear it if that's your team.
It's my team.
So, hi. Welcome to the Facebook chat. As most folks know, I'm a Green Bay Packer fan and a lifelong season ticket holder, so I'll get to see them beat the Bears in person again this year.
Probably.
Yeah. All right, so what's your name?
My name is Mark Murdoch.
Mark Murdoch.
Yes, sir.
All right, so welcome to Schneider. When did you start?
Well, I started in May.
In May?
Yep, in May.
Okay, so you've been here for roughly 4 months now, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah.
Okay, and what are you doing?
I am at the Walmart account.
Okay, so you're at Sterling, Illinois as well?
Sterling, Illinois,
okay.
Yep.
All right.
I love it, man.
Do you?
I love it, yeah.
All right.
I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm making some good money.
Good. Well, we think you're doing pretty good too.
Well.
All right, and we appreciate everything you've done. We're glad you came to work here. What did you do before Schneider?
Well, so I took 11 years off trucking.
Okay.
So I had like 4 years experience 11 years ago.
Yeah, that doesn't carry over. That's too big. That's too big of a break, right? Yeah.
Too big, so they hired me as an inexperienced driver.
Yep.
Which is good because I actually learned some things training here. I actually learned a few things that I didn't know before.
Good. Well, we're very proud of our training program.
You guys are pretty good.
Yeah, and we hear from drivers regularly how much they appreciate what we do from a training standpoint. So I'm glad to hear that.
I appreciate about this place how nice everybody is.
Okay.
I mean, for the most part, like before, I worked for companies that they'll yell at you for just like really no reason at all. They'll just start yelling at you, and it's like, you know, for what? And they'll fire you over something. Okay, here's an instant.
Remember, we're on live TV.
That's all right.
Okay.
I'll be nice. I'll be good.
Okay.
this person worked for this company for 6 years. He's driving in the middle of a snowstorm, so he pulls over on the side of the road. Now, I know the policy about pulling over on the side of the road.
Yeah, we don't want that.
You don't want that. He pulled over on the side of the road for 2 hours because it was in the middle of a snowstorm. Well, he got fired for that.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if it was at a truck stop or what. It was
Right.
probably at a truck stop that he pulled over.
Right.
But 2 hours, he was tired in the middle of a snowstorm. He got fired. He was there for 6 years.
So they were concerned that he wasn't continuing to drive. Is that what the issue was?
Yeah. So basically, they fired him. They fired him because he wasn't going as hard as they wanted him
Okay.
to. But now, like Schneider, I like Schneider because you guys say anyways that if it's not safe for you to drive, then don't do it.
Yeah, so the way we talk about that, right? Safety first and always is one of our core values. And we also want our drivers to understand that in situations like that, you're the captain of the ship, right? And so those decisions have to be made by you in regards to, is that a safe environment or not? So I agree with you. I do think, one of the great things about Schneider is the quality of our people. And so when you say people are nice, I think that's an accurate assessment. Now, I coach basketball outside of Schneider. And so if you ever want to get yelled at, I can yell.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I have a pretty loud voice. So just let me know if you want that, because I can do that, but I'm a really kind of nice guy.
That's good construction.
Yeah.
Good constructive criticism at the basketball court.
Yeah, exactly. Encouragement is what I call it. Yeah, exactly. So,
motivation.
yeah, well, so we're really glad that you're here, that you came back to trucking, and good luck as you continue with your career.
I like it.
And as you said a little earlier off camera, you've got about 29 and a half years before you get to the 30-year club.
Well, that's not too long.
Okay. All right.
Right there. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Nice to meet
It was
you.
a pleasure meeting you. All right. Go Pack. Okay. All right. Let's go back to another question. This comes from Lewis Brandon Rents. Should we call our DBL or customer service when empty is full, pallets are a load? So, Lewis, I think what you're referring to is we have sensors on our trailers that indicate to us whether that trailer is loaded or empty. We've had some issues with some of those sensors registering what I'll call kind of a false positive, where it says that that trailer is empty, and actually there could be some dunnage in it or some pallets in it, or in some cases even a load. So we're working through that. We're aware of that. We appreciate the question. But right now, if that happens and you're sent after a trailer that you believe is empty, and you get there and there is something in that trailer, communicate directly to your DBL. Now, I don't know what operating center that you work out of. Right now, we're doing a pilot with some of our West Memphis drivers, where a West Memphis driver would call customer service directly. But if you're not a part of that pilot group, right now you would continue to talk to your DBL about that and make them aware, and then we'll go through the appropriate steps to get that corrected. Okay? All right, thanks for the question. This comes from Cindy Abbey. I've found a lot of trailers with bad tires. Please stress post trips and DVIR stating bad tires. I had 5 on one trailer alone. Thanks. Okay, so everyone sitting in the room heard that question. So DVIRs and bad order trailers, right? Let's do that. And clearly, that's something we really do want to stress with the driver group is as you come upon a trailer that may have any bad order condition to it, please make us aware, because working together we can help clean up some of the trailer pool. I've been here 37 years. I like to tell people, when it comes to bad order trailers, I have met thousands of drivers who've picked up a bad order trailer. I don't meet many who tell me they drop one off. So somehow, some way, it's happening. And if we all work together to take care of that trailer pool by doing quality pre-trip and post-trip inspections, it will get better. So we can use your help in that regard. What area of the country can we expect to see the most growth from our customers? So I would tell you, I don't know if there's a single area in the country that is growing faster than any other area. We are seeing growth across all of our businesses. And I think it's not only true for Schneider, it is true of the industry. You know, certainly we have some resources that others don't that will allow us to grow more quickly, and that's exciting for us. And it's part of that recognition for our drivers, right? We want you out there, we want you working, we want you helping us grow with our customers. But really, we're happy to grow in any region of the country. We obviously do business in all 48 of the contiguous states. We do international business, land business, Canada, Mexico, and so let's take advantage of any opportunity that's out there. You know, what I would encourage drivers to do, because you're on the ground, you're doing the work, is if you see a customer location where you think we ought to be doing business and you don't see orange trailers in there, send us that information. We'll get a salesperson out there, we'll make a phone call, we'll see if it makes sense for Schneider to do business with that customer. So any opportunity to grow is a great opportunity, and you can be our eyes and ears and help us in that sales area as well. Peter Bennett, when will we get disc brakes for trailers? So, you know, Peter, it's a good question. Obviously, we've transitioned from the air drum to the disc brakes on the tractor side. We've done some testing, limited testing on the trailer side, but we're not ready to do that in a wholesale manner just yet. But know that we will continue to test that. We'll continue to look at it and see what makes sense for us as we go forward. We always want to be kind of on the front end of new technologies for equipment, and if it has an opportunity to make us a safer fleet, certainly that is something we want to explore. This question comes from Albert, and it says, Albert Marugi, what about growth as a percentage when it comes to intermodal? Is it growing at an anticipated pace? So, you know, because this is a public forum, I don't necessarily talk about those specifics, but I can tell you, Albert, we are growing from an intermodal standpoint, just like all of our businesses are growing in this environment. But again, you know, I don't think that's unique to just Schneider. The economy is growing, freight is growing, and so we just want to continue to take advantage of our resources and our capabilities, and intermodal is one of those differentiators for us that will allow us to continue to kind of stay in front of our many great competitors. So thanks for that question. Does Schneider get to give any input to Washington concerning the infrastructure bills? So great question. We do have opportunity to have conversations through a government relations group that we have within Schneider with folks in the Senate, with folks in the House, and so we will have those conversations. You know, ultimately the question becomes, what type of influence might that have in the ultimate bill? Because clearly there are things that we think make a lot of sense as it relates to road infrastructure. Now, when you look at an infrastructure bill, it includes much more than just what the transportation or trucking industry is looking for. You know, there's infrastructure around the railroads. So part of that is the intermodal business we do, but Amtrak is a part of that. In the infrastructure bill, depending on, you know, what of the 300 plus pages of the bill that you read, you will find things about broadband and those kinds of things. And so some of those may not hit us directly, but clearly we have the opportunity to share our feedback through a government relations channel We do that kind of independently as a Schneider organization. And then the industry has groups like the American Trucking Association, or the ATA, that spends time providing input to the government, again, Congress, the House, and ultimately gets to the executive branch around what is best for our industry from an infrastructure stance. So know that does happen, that we're active in that space, and we will continue to do that going forward. Next question, do we anticipate seeing an extra large surge this fourth quarter due to product shortages recently across the nation? So I don't think it's going to be an extra large surge. Clearly, there are some shortages, but I don't know, and again, right, I'm not an economist, I'm not a forecaster or a predictor, I'm just kind of talking about what I'm aware of based on things I read and conversations that I have, is that some of those shortages aren't going to get taken care of, right? And so that doesn't necessarily provide for that kind of step level change, if you will, in regards to freight volume. What we do know is it is going to continue to be busy. So there is a natural progression from kind of the first 3 quarters of the year to the fourth quarter. So it's a step level change, but it may not be a hockey stick kind of change, just based on the success we've had earlier this year in regards to demand. But the holiday season typically provides a bit of a bump as consumers get out there and spend money. And folks may be surprised by this, but the second largest kind of celebration of the year from a consumer spend standpoint is actually Halloween. So it trails Christmas, obviously, but it has surpassed Thanksgiving as it relates to the amount of money that people spend as they prepare to kind of celebrate Halloween. So get out there, buy your costume. That all goes into the economy, and we'll see how this fourth quarter plays out. What is Schneider doing to combat the fuel shortages and or high fuel prices? So, it's interesting because obviously we have seen the price for diesel fuel go up. We saw a bit of a shortage earlier in the year when we had the cyber attack kind of on the pipeline. That created some issues. I think the aftermath of Ida may create some refinery issues. We haven't necessarily seen an impact there yet. We might, but generally speaking, we've had the ability to fuel the trucks, right? So I think a shortage is a bit of a misnomer, but because of those things, prices go up. Well, the way we mitigate fuel prices to the best of our ability is through our fuel solutions. So we are looking where we can get the best discounts. If you saw a recent Buzz video that I did with Lee Whipp, who leads our fuel area, and we talked about the implications of state fuel taxes and how those fuel solutions take that into account. So in addition to the fuel tax by state, there are discounts that we get through Pilot, Flying J, and the truck stops that we use. So that's why we recommend you follow those fuel solutions. And obviously we want to maximize the fuel mileage on all of our trucks. And so that's why MPG is a part of our bonus program, because as you do well in the MPG arena, we want to share that success with you. And so those are the things that we're doing from an MPG standpoint. So thank you for the question. The next question, are there customers that we can leverage to provide extra parking for our fleet? So obviously, anyone watching does know that parking can get difficult, especially if you're looking for parking later in the day. because it seems like people are stopping earlier to make certain that they get safe parking and that they have the hours available to find the parking location. Clearly, one of the opportunities that we look at is, can we utilize customer locations? So if you're delivering to a customer, can we get in there early? Can we park there? Is there room to do that? Those conversations do take place with our customers. So in regards to this specific question that says, can we leverage that further? I think we're asking that question regularly, and those customers that have the ability to do that have been accommodating in that regard. Know that we will continue to ask that question on your behalf, and then that will be a part of the work assignment. As you get special instructions for a customer, it would say if parking was available for you to utilize in that regard. So that's how I would answer that question. Great question. All right, so our next series of shout outs from folks that are out there. Steve Tyner is in Glendale, Kentucky. So Steve, thanks for being with us. Someone in my neck of the woods, Marinette, Wisconsin, just north of Green Bay. Oh, he said, I walked right past you today. Ha ha. Kurt ditto. So Kurt must have been here earlier today, and now he's up in Marinette. Actually, Kurt, I wish you would have said hi to me, because your name came up in a conversation that we were having today. And I was talking to one of our TEs that you trained. So he mentioned you as his training engineer when he started, and said that you were one of the reasons why he became a training engineer. So I think that's a pretty cool story, and thanks for doing that. It's my understanding, Kurt, that you're no longer a training engineer, but I'd like to ask you if you'd reconsider and get back into training. We're doing some things with that program to enhance it, and certainly if you have feedback on the training engineer program, we'd be interested in it. So thanks for being with us tonight, Kurt. Ike Stevens says, hello, safely driving down I-20 at 75 miles per hour. Schneider rocks. All right, Ike, everyone's a comedian. So thanks for being with us tonight. We appreciate you being parked safely, watching the Facebook chat, and knowing that as a company driver, you don't have the ability to go 75 miles per hour. Ben Starbuck, who was here earlier today, is one of our training engineers. Says, hi, Todd and crew. He left Gary, and he's now at Joann Fabrics in Wausau, Wisconsin, with his 2 students. So hi to you, Ben, and to your students up there. Angie Johnson says, hello. She's on a 34-hour reset in Cleburne, Texas. Chris Biza, who asked a question earlier, says, hello, Todd and the Gary OC. He's checking in from the St. Paul intermodal market. Chris is one of our jet set drivers as well. Christine Bosgraf says hello from Wilmer. Christine is one of our training engineers down in Wilmer. John Andreas says hi there from the pilot in Mascoutah, Illinois. All right, and John goes by the Greek, so thanks for being with us, John. And finally, Bob Hamray is with us from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So thanks for being with us. All right, so who's coming up next? We've got some other folks here. Anyone else? You want to volunteer? Look at me. Come on up here. Come on. We've talked a couple of times, so, yeah, all the way from Lansing, Michigan.
1 second, too.
Yeah. So this going to be one of our new TEs.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So you started the TE process today?
Yes, sir.
Right? So you're going through kind of the qualification process right now.
Yep.
All right, so introduce yourself. What's your name?
My name is Shane Bosma. I'm from Lansing, Michigan.
Okay, home of the Michigan State Spartans?
Yes.
Yeah, you a Spartan fan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm a huge sports fan, so I kind
That's good.
of know. When you work in transportation, you get to know all of the spots, right?
Yep.
Well, I was amazed at how many I knew just because of being a college sports fan. Sports fan in general. All right, so tell us about your journey with Schneider. How long have you been here?
A total of 3 years, or going on 3 years, 2 years, and going on the third year right now.
Okay.
So.
And you're assigned to the Gary OC.
Yep.
And
I started out in a home daily out of Owasso, Michigan,
okay.
and then I came over here to go regional.
Okay, so you're currently running regional?
Yep.
All right. Good.
Cool.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's working for you?
It's working.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking earlier in the lounge here, and I know you took a call from your wife,
Yeah.
right? And this job is different than most in that you don't get to see her every night.
Yep.
And so obviously you stay in touch.
Oh,
you know, that's an
100%.
important part of transportation. And we always say that, you know, the spouses of our drivers are some of the most important people in our organization, because although they're not direct associates, they're the support network behind, you know, our driver associates.
Yeah.
And so for all you drivers, and I know spouses watch this, right? So if you're out there and you're watching, thank you for what you do. And drivers, as we're appreciating you this week, I'd ask as you talk to your family this evening, please give them a special thank you as well, because we know how important that support network is to the drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. What else? What else do you want to share?
Just watch out for those tires. Change them out as quick as possible. And
Yeah. So another plug for taking care of bad ordered tires, right?
yes.
Okay. All right.
All right, that's it. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thanks, Shane.
See ya.
Thanks for coming up. All right. Hand that microphone to this guy. You're coming up next, and then John Girth, you're on deck.
Thank you.
Okay, we're bringing you up here. You run this place.
Hello there.
Hi there. Todd Jaden.
I think I know you
You think you do?
through Denise Smith.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Denise knows everybody.
Everybody, yes.
Yeah, and so Denise is she's a wonderful friend, not only a driver, but a wonderful friend. And, you know, I will tell you that Denise and I met, oh, geez, I don't know how many years ago it is now. Obviously, she's been here for a number of years, and I've been here for a long time. But I had a granddaughter who was born on March 12th, right as COVID kicked off, right? So March 12th of 2020. So if my granddaughter's watching, hi, Mary, it's Grandpa. I send her those messages all the time. But Denise and her prayer group down in Georgia made a blanket for my granddaughter.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
so
I think
it's
we know
her.
about that.
You know about it? Yeah. It's Denise knows this. It's her favorite blanket. She sleeps with it every night. So
Yeah.
thank you, Denise, for that blanket. But that's, you know, when we talked earlier about Schneider, there's a family feel to Schneider, right?
Yes, sir.
And we want
Yes,
people
sir.
to feel like they are a part of a family here. And it was a privately owned family organization. In 1935, when Al Schneider started it, it was a one-truck trucking company. Wow. And it's grown to be what it is today. And so we try to preserve that small family feel. And I know we're not perfect, right? I'm not going to sit up here and say we are perfect at everything we do, but we try. And what we look for from you is feedback. How do we get better? And so that's why we do stuff like this. All right, so with that, now let's meet you. All right, your name is?
Alejandro.
Alejandro.
And I have the joy of driving with my son. We have been teaming for 2 years now.
Okay.
We
All
can-
right. Yeah, I saw a picture, now that you're saying that, with you guys with Denise.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you guys
We took
Driving-
an extended vacation
Okay.
in February, but we're back and
Okay.
we're driving doubles for YRC.
okay,
We
awesome.
do the thing, yes.
All right, and then how long have you been driving total?
2 years.
Okay, so your first driving job was with Schneider?
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you do before that?
I was a missionary in Peru,
Really?
in Ecuador, yes.
Yeah, see, that's what I love about meeting our drivers, is they have so many neat stories, right? So you were a missionary in Peru,
Yeah.
and you came here and decided to drive a truck for Schneider.
Yeah, we
How cool.
decided to get on the adventure because my son, he asked a very important question. He said,
Okay.
would you do something fun with me? Let's find us a group of people that will pay us for traveling.
Okay. All right. So he's the reason you're here.
Here's the reason I'm here.
All right. And what's his name?
David.
David. swallow your food and get up here. David's eating right now, so he's taking a drink, so he's going to come up and we're going to introduce David because it sounds like he's the real reason you're at Schneider.
Yep.
All right. So, hi.
Pleasure, sir.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you as well. Thank you for convincing Dad to come and drive truck. And has it been everything you expected?
It was not a hard choice to make to begin with, given Schneider's reputation.
Okay. We like to hear that. So, we do this on a Facebook page that is a recruiting Facebook page, right? So anyone who happened to be looking on the recruiting page and bumped into this Facebook Live, pay attention to what we're talking about right here, right? So we want you to come and work here. We have jobs available, and I think based on what you've heard from our driver community tonight, pretty darn good place to work.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So,
What's the training program that happens in Indianapolis? From nothing?
yeah, so that's called CAT training. So it's CDL apprenticeship training. And so what we do through our CAT training program is if you don't have a CDL, you can come through that training program and we will not only train you, but we will get you your CDL as well. So that is a program that we offer at 5 different locations in the network. Yeah, and so, it's one that, again, we're very proud of our training program, and certainly appreciate you putting a plug in for that as well. Sometimes I don't like to stand here and do shameless plugs for the organization because people look at me and say, hey, that guy's just stumping for the company he worked for 37 years, even though this is a part of who I am, right? I started here as a 21-year-old, and so my entire adult life has been spent at Schneider, and I love it. But when I can have people come up here and talk like you guys are talking relative to your experience, that is way more powerful than Todd Jaden talking about what a great place Schneider is. So I really appreciate you saying
We're
that.
having fun anyway.
We're having fun. We, if you were to ask me if anybody out there would want to know is how important it is that the way this organization works. It's when they say family, when we say family, it truly is. I don't know if other drivers have that experience. We absolutely love the folks at West Memphis.
Oh yeah.
They were the one who got us into the
Becky.
training.
Yeah, we put a shout out to Becky and James and the whole crew down there.
Yeah, so it's truly a place that we really enjoy working for. I have worked for other organizations, but this is the most enjoyable place. It's really hard. We don't sleep at nights. We drive early in the morning and all that
You
stuff.
don't sleep nights because you're driving nights.
Yeah.
We drive at night. Yeah, but truly the people is what makes it worth staying. I don't know. Yes, there's money to be made and family to feed, but it's really enjoyable to have so many folks around. The mechanics, the technicians out there. Ron Troop is my favorite at Gary. He fixes the trucks in a way that we really enjoy it. So, yeah, it's really enjoyable place to work for.
Well, one of the things that I've observed as I've interacted with other missionaries, so I have some, I won't call it experience, but, I've had the opportunity to spend some time with missionaries, is I find them to be very patient. And patience is really a characteristic that works well in trucking.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You got to have patience.
Yeah,
and patience, I think, is really a quality that we look for in our drivers when you think about safety.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on in the road around you. And, just 1 mile at a time is really our mantra as it relates to safety first and always. So I think your background is perfect for what we do.
We get to spend time in places where there are only 2 rules of driving, basically. The fastest or the biggest have the right of way. So driving in those places, South America.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So coming here we're more or less everybody's expected to do what they do. So it's a joy to drive here. So.
I spent 5 years in Mexico City.
Oh yeah.
Earlier in my career with Schneider. And I tell people, when they complain about traffic in Chicago and Los Angeles and New York, well, that's because you haven't been to Mexico City. Because Mexico City is like a parking lot, right? You're out there and you just stand still for hours at a time. And so patience is certainly a requirement. And, the U.S. interstate system is actually a pretty marvelous thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
awesome.
Take much help.
Yeah,
from
it's great.
Else.
Thanks for
you.
coming up here. Thanks for everything you do. We appreciate you stopping in and
Thanks.
enjoying a meal with us.
Your pre-trips.
Yeah, thanks, David. All right, you may have caught a smile out of the corner of my mouth while I was talking to Alejandro. We had a great save by our cafeteria vendor here. He almost dropped a gallon pail of ketchup, but he caught it. So that was great. That was the what we call the Pabst Play of the Week, right? The Heinz Play of the Week. Great catch. All right, and thank you for doing what you're doing this week. You're really serving up a feast. Much appreciated. All right, John, come on up.
Sounds good.
All right, so my next guest that'll come into the camera here is John Girth. John is our director of operations here at Gary, so he's responsible for the facility and all of the drivers that report up through Gary. And John is part of the 20-plus year club. You didn't get to 30 just yet, right?
26. Right?
Yeah, you're at 26. So I remember when we hired John. So he did some work. He's a financial guy by trade, right? So he came to us and he started in our finance department. And John was a part of my leadership team when we were getting involved in Mexico. So he did financials for us from a Mexico perspective. So our history goes back to the day you got hired.
Armando Beltran.
Yeah, exactly. And Armando ran our operation down in Mexico City. So, obviously you're no longer in finance. You moved to the operating side of the business, and you've been at Gary how long now, John?
I've been at Gary for 14 years.
14 years.
Yep. I was in Charlotte for 2.
Yep.
And then I transferred to Gary 14 years ago. So.
All right.
Yep.
So tell us whatever you want to tell us. You have free reign.
Free reign and so forth. So first of all, I appreciate the fact that you're down here doing this because I think this is pretty cool, and I hope it's something that we go to different operating centers and so forth.
Well, I would tell you, based on the people we've been able to bring up and put on camera, there's nothing better. This is the best recruiting show we've ever done, right? So yeah, we'll get out there and we'll start asking questions of drivers around the network.
Right. And one of the things we've heard a lot about is just how much people appreciate the atmosphere, the family atmosphere, and so forth. And when I really talk about Schneider, to prospective drivers or folks thinking about coming to the company, I mean, to me, that is honestly our differentiator. Our core values are a value-based company, safety, integrity, respect, excellence, and I think that's why we've been a successful company, and it's why we're going to be a successful company moving forward. That's what I tell every week. I do the onboarding, talk about core values, and I just truly think that's really the unique thing about Schneider. And that's why I've been here as long as I am, and why I hope I'm here at least till 37. So.
Yeah, there you go, and we hope you are as well. So, and I hope everyone in the room, gets to their 30-plus year anniversary. We talk about at Schneider a concept we call hire to retire. So no matter when you start here, it could be your second career, your third career, your fourth career. When you start here, we want you to retire from here, even if you got to come back 3 times, David, right? So we still have an objective of you retiring here. All right, John, any other words of wisdom for us? Otherwise, I have a question for you.
Go for the question.
Okay, so the Golden Domers are playing the Badgers this weekend.
That's right.
At Soldier
Actually,
Field.
This weekend. They're playing Purdue this weekend.
Oh, yeah, we have a bye.
That's right.
The Badgers have a bye, so it's the next Badger game. John's a Golden Domer. He's a Notre Dame guy.
Right.
Now, I'm a Notre Dame fan, right? I'm a good Catholic, so we cheer for the Golden Domers, except when they play the Badgers. They were supposed to play at Lambeau Field last year, and it was a kind of a home and home thing, and then at Soldier Field this year. So, any predictions?
I got to be honest, we're off to a rough start.
Okay, and your quarterback is a former Badger.
Yeah. But I do think we're going to pull through. I would say probably 28-24.
All right, and I'm gonna take the Badgers, and I'm gonna say the Badgers, because they're a defensive team, are gonna win that game 21-17. Soda bet.
All right.
All right,
good.
there you go. Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah,
exactly.
All right. Thanks for being with us, John. Thanks for everything you do.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, so it's 7:05. Typically, we stay live for an hour, so we've exceeded our hour. I may go a little longer. Rick, you going to come up here? Get up here. Yeah. Let's get Rick the microphone. Everyone can see one of our bulk guys. Then we'll take a couple questions and we'll sign off. All right.
How's it going?
Good. This is Rick Somerville. Rick, another long tenured Schneider associate. How long have you been with us now?
20 years.
Is 20 this year?
Yeah.
When do you celebrate?
21 in January.
Okay, 21 in January. So your 20th was in January of this year. I remember when we hired you. That's what happens when you're here longer than a lot of people. So congratulations on 20 years. Why don't you share with folks what you do for the bulk organization?
Yeah, I have a really neat role within the bulk organization. So kind of taking some of my operational experience over the years and tying that into a variety of what I call supporting projects that we do within the business. I also have accountability for our tank wash business and have a great leader in Houston, Texas that facilitates those conversations. So hello to Bill Galeen out there. I know he's spending some time in Wisconsin this month working remotely. And then work in our driver pay space. So really an important part of our business where, ultimately we got to make sure we're delivering a quality W-2. And so it's a very important and, important role to make sure that we're doing well.
Right, and Rick works on the bulk side now, but he started on the van side of our business. In fact, Rick led our business out in Fontana when we had a facility in Southern California, and you were in California 6-7 years?
A dozen years.
It was that many?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. You lose track of time, right?
Goes fast.
Yeah, it certainly does. So, and have been back now in Green Bay.
Just over 7.
Just over 7, okay. I would have reversed those two probably.
That's all right.
Okay.
Goes fast.
All right. Anything else you want to say to the drivers?
Just want to make sure we shout out to the group. Really appreciate the work you do every single day. It is not an easy job. Just driving here today from Green Bay. I haven't been to the big city in a while, and I fully appreciate the challenge it can be out there on the highway. So thank you for all that you do. Happy Driver Appreciation Week, and take care.
All right. Thanks, Rick.
Todd.
Appreciate it. All right. So Chris Hawaii says, hey, it's the guy from the training videos. He's talking about the training videos Rick does. Yeah. Right? That's, I think we still play that Minutes Matter one, right? That we did? Yeah. All right. Okay, so here's the second to last question. I have a 2022 regional truck, so it's got the smaller sleeper. Do my 34-hour resets in my truck. I shut off my truck. Since it's been getting cooler outside, I haven't been needing to idle the truck. Halfway through my reset, my power inverter starts to beep, meaning my batteries are at a low voltage, so I have to start the truck and let it run for an hour or two to charge the batteries. I'm concerned about these batteries being too weak. Well, I'm concerned about them as well. So I'd like to understand what's driving that, because that shouldn't happen unless you've got something going on that's draining those batteries considerably. So I don't know what the draw might be, Chris, but we should look at that. We'll have our engineers understand what that is. So Vicki, just capture that as a follow-up, and we'll get Jake and his team to get Chris's power number, and we'll follow up, see what's going on in that regard. All right? Okay, last question. Geez, Kevin, I was wondering if you're going to be here tonight or not. This comes from Kevin Kocher. He's one of our regulars at TE for us. And he says, hey, Todd, are there any updates to the Trip Plan app coming soon, particularly finding parking being sent to Navigo? So great question, Kevin. In fact, we had a meeting about the trip planning app last week and how do we take what we've created and get that integrated into to workflow versus having it kind of sit off to the side. So I can't give you any specific timing of any of these things, but we're certainly working on that. It will continue, I know, certainly into 2022. So that's something we want to continue to enhance, get integrated into workflow, and make certain that we have a tool that drivers can rely on from a trip planning perspective, in particular to help drive parking decisions. So stay tuned, more to come in that area. All right, so we're going to close with our last set of shout outs. So Doris Todd says, my granddaughter Kaylee McCall drives for your company. She sure does. So we know Kaylee. She's been kind of the cover girl in some of the stories we've done on Compass. And in fact, I think she got called out by Women in Trucking for some of the work she's done in the industry, if I'm not mistaken. So thanks to grandmother Doris and to Kaylee as well. We're glad you were able to join us. All right. Hello from San Jose, California, Grace Fowler. Gary Vogel is in Springfield, Illinois. He's works on one of our dedicated accounts in that area. Mackenzie Jones says hello from the Wilmer OC. Hi, Mackenzie. Chris Foshi is with his wife Jenny, and he says, hi, Todd. We're running in from vacation in Panama Beach, Florida. Well, I hope you had a good vacation, Chris, and are ready to get back to work. All right, James. James, you know I butcher your last name every time. Anagnost. There's too many N's in your last name, James. He's in Michigan. Kevin Kosher, who just asked a question, is in St. George, South Carolina, and he'll be at the Atlanta OC tomorrow, so make sure you get recognized and get a free meal, Kevin. And then our last shout-out of the night comes from Don Rye, and he says hi from Antioch, Illinois. So he's kind of in the neighborhood, a little north of here. All right, so we better kind of wind this thing down. It's almost 7:15. I know before we say goodbye, Nicole is kind of going to do a spin of the room and just show folks kind of what went on. So wave, you guys can wave to the camera. All right, we got some bashful folks back there. All right. Okay, so I'm going to sign off by ending this the way I started. Thank you for everything you do. We certainly appreciate our driver community, the great job you do for us, for our customers. You truly make a difference in what we're able to accomplish. And so this week is about celebrating you. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the names and faces that are here with us in Gary, kind of celebrating Driver Appreciation Week. So that's it for this month's chat. Next month again is information on our benefits rollout and open enrollment. So with that, I'll say goodbye. You take care. Drive safe.